Hello and welcome to our regular look at Parliament's plenary session, which this week has taken place here in Brussels. The economic crisis has once again figured prominently, with EU leaders under pressure to deliver a lasting solution to ease market anxiety and restore confidence in the euro's long-term prospects.
EU heads of state and government had been due to meet next week to consolidate efforts to strengthen the European Financial Stability Facility, or EFSF. This mechanism is aimed at preventing a repeat of the situation in Greece, which has found it virtually impossible to borrow money in the markets because of such high interest rates. But the expansion of this facility has been held up by the Slovak Parliament, which refused to approve it. Slovak MPs are expected to approve the EFSF in a new vote, but perhaps expecting such a delay, the President of the European Council, Herman Van Rompuy, had earlier decided to shift the EU and eurozone summits back by a week to the 23rd of October.
Van Rompuy's counterpart at the European Commission, José Manuel Barroso, opened a debate in Parliament looking ahead to these two summits. He told MEPs that the Commission had just unveiled a comprehensive strategy for stability and growth, what he called a roadmap, which would restore confidence in the euro area and the EU as a whole. And he implored the Slovak Parliament to resist party political manoeuvring and act in the common European interest.
The strengthened and more flexible EFSF is in the interest of all euro countries, including, I'm sure, the Slovak people. Our common currency plays a crucial role in investment decisions, in growth, in jobs all over Europe. I commend those in Slovakia who have risen above partisan attitudes and voted in favour of what is important for all Slovak citizens, for the euro area and for the European Union as a whole. And I call upon all parties in the Slovak Parliament to rise above the positioning of short-term politics and seize the next opportunity to ensure a swift adoption of the new agreement.
In response, EPP Group Chairman Joseph Daul underlined that time was in short supply and that indecisiveness in some member states had to end if the eurozone's difficulties were to be dealt with appropriately.
Like many colleagues here, I sometimes get the impression that I'm repeating myself, taking part in a dialogue of the deaf between the European institutions and our member states. Europe must stop debating how to take decisions or whether we need to make yet another amendment to the treaties. Europe must stop analysing, considering and hesitating. Europe must act, and it must put a stop to the debate regarding solidarity with Greece.
The Commission's roadmap for stability and growth includes 5 integrated elements: immediate and strengthened support for Greece, accelerating the decisions already taken on euro area stability, bolstering Europe's banks, promoting economic growth, particularly through an enhanced single market, and steps towards a deeper EU economic governance.
Economic problems may be persistent, but the EU is still functioning effectively. And one of the EU's key achievements is the Schengen area, a space across much of Europe in which people can cross national borders without ID checks. This week, MEPs have been discussing the accession of Bulgaria and Romania to the Schengen area. Simply an idea of sharing the EU's benefits, you might think. But the idea is not without controversy.
Last month, the governments of Finland and the Netherlands vetoed the accession of Bulgaria and Romania to the Schengen area. They said the 2 most recent entrants to the EU had not done enough to combat corruption and organised crime, and therefore did not deserve to be allowed to join Schengen. However, an assessment by the European Commission earlier this year stated that Bulgaria and Romania had both fulfilled the necessary criteria to be counted as part of the passport-free zone. Naturally, the governments of Bulgaria and Romania think this is unfair, and they are upset that their EU partners have failed to show the expected solidarity. EPP Group Vice Chairman Marian Jean Marinescu, a Romanian MEP, summed up the disappointment felt by many EPP Group members.
The European Union is based on principles including trust, but also mutual respect. In this particular situation, I believe we need the Council to intervene. I ask the Council to reconsider this matter and take the right decision based on the merits of both Member States. This will benefit all other Member States and the EU as a whole.
Earlier this year, France and Italy raised the prospect of unilaterally withdrawing from the Schengen area. They feared being overwhelmed by the consequences of migrants fleeing violence and political instability in North Africa. But for our group, the story of Schengen is a good news story of vital importance to Europe's economy and its ethos. Simon Busuttil, a Maltese MEP, is our group spokesman on justice and home affairs and did not hesitate to criticize the two member states whose veto had caused a delay.
Both these governments rely on the support of populist parties. Mr. President, I would not like to think that the reason for this blockage is that these governments are held hostage to populism, because this would be very worrying indeed. We need to stand up to populism by explaining to the public that fairness dictates that rules should be respected, and that when they are respected, we should draw the consequent conclusions. In this case, by allowing both Bulgaria and Romania to join the border-free area of Schengen.
Bulgaria and Romania will doubtless keep up the pressure on other member states to let them into the Schengen area. Meanwhile, all member states are faced with a more urgent and pressing issue to attend to at the forthcoming EU summits, the ongoing economic crisis. For more information on our group's activities, please visit our website, eppgroup.eu. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.